Obviously, it's been a little bit since we saw you fight here in Australia. Your last fight was back in the tiny octagon at the Apex. So how good does it feel to be fighting, back in Australia again?
Yeah, good to fight back home. Good to be home. So I'm pumped.
Is fighting in Perth maybe even easier than fighting, back home in Sydney? Because I remember they had like the welcome to the country ceremony and they spoke about you specifically, and it felt like you were maybe had to do a lot more media when fighting in Sydney as opposed to Perth.
No, it's all the same. I still feel like I'm doing a bit of media, but it's home, so I suppose it goes with it.
You got matched up with Jairzinho, and he said he wouldn't use the term happy, but he said it was nice having to prepare for an opponent that he didn't think was going to be shooting on his legs or grappling or anything. So when they matched you up with Jairzinho, were you looking forward to just getting in there, getting in a fist fight?
Yeah, definitely. It's I suppose it's a good fight for both of us. I've been watching him for a while now, so it's they're usually the fights I like to take and challenge myself. So I'm looking forward to it.
I saw on your social media you used the phrase like, my head ain't been too good the last couple of years. I guess as much as you can talk about it, like what was exactly going on in your life that maybe you cleared up?
We're normal people, we got shit goes on, and we deal with it certain ways. I feel like my head's been other places other than fighting, so, and it's been showing in my performances. So, but that's how life goes, and we roll on and we roll through. So I feel like I've gotten over that and ready to roll.
We saw a video of you sparring with Alex Pereira, and even Jairzinho said you can learn something from anyone, especially Alex. So what was it like sparring in there with him?
Yeah, it was kind of my first training session back, and I got the shit punched out of me. So I think I left a few days after that to Dubai, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I better go train.
So we've spoken to a few guys that have sparred with him, and when you use big gloves, it's one thing, but they say like, well, if we had MMA gloves, this would feel a lot different getting punched by him. So what was it like feeling him touch you?
His power was, I fight in heavyweight, sure. So we can take a punch or two, but it was more I hadn't been training. I went in and I was fucking running out of breath and getting the shit punched out of me. So, but that's the sport we do, and it was all fun and games.
We also saw you're going to do the Amazing Race. How did that come about?
Yeah, the Amazing Race. They just kind of popped up, and I thought it's a bit out of my thing, but it was a great experience that I'll get to do with my brother, and people from where I'm from usually wouldn't get to experience things like that, so it was a great opportunity, and we took it and ran with it.
And just two quick ones for me, unrelated to your fight. I don't know if you saw, but in November, they're going to implement some of the rule changes that will allow 12 to 6 elbows, and it's redefined the grounded opponent rule. You can no longer play the game with just a hand on the ground. So I'm curious, did you hear about these rules, and do you think it's been a long time coming?
I don't even think I know the actual rules. So what's, you can kick him in the face?
So you can't soccer kick them, but you need, some fighters will put their hands on the ground to avoid getting elbowed or kneed or anything, and now they need another part. You can't just prop your hand up and be considered grounded.
If my hand's on the ground, I'm probably tapping out, so it's probably not for me.
Sure. And I think I know your answer, but how do you see the main event playing out between Israel and Dricus?
I think it's going to be a great fight, but I have to back my boy Izzy. I got a bet with Dricus on the rugby union, so hopefully he'll win that too.
He's getting a couple rugby, some of the Springboks guys walking him out to his fight.
Not if they get smashed on Saturday.
Tai, back here. The last time you were in Australia, as mentioned, you were fighting in Sydney. I asked you about that, and I wasn't sure if you were still living out there. And you said, everyone knows where I live. Since then, you have moved to Dubai. You're a man who reps Western Sydney through and through. Why make that decision, and how difficult was it?
I didn't move there. I lived in Dubai for 3 years when I was on my little winning streak, and Dubai is just a real good place for me. I just go there, I just tune in, and I got one thing to think about, and that's fighting. When I'm home, I got friends, family, I got a few businesses that I have to, and when my head's all around, I'm not thinking about fighting. So, and I'm a normal bloke, there's parties, there's birthdays, I'm usually the first one there. So to be away and to sacrifice those things, it's kind of better for me and just keeps my head on the fight.